Hi, how do we deal with multiple licenses? One of the most important tasks in open source compliances is to build a bill of material and to find out what components are actually being used and shipped into the target and what licenses are applicable. And what happens sometimes is that we find different licenses that scanners such as Black Duck tell us, well, I've seen this component under BSD2 clause, but also under GPL or Apache 2. And you may wonder, can I choose the best license, the more liberal license? Can I choose between Apache and BSD, such as if it were a dual license? Most of the time, this is not a real dual license case. Dual license happens when the copyright owner says, well, you can use this either under BSD or under MIT or whatever, if he gives you two different licenses to choose between. It happens sometimes for compatibility reasons that they will issue a component under LGPL as well as under MPL. That are typical examples. However, when a scanner or your supplier tells you that a component is available under different licenses, it may be because it showed up in different projects, because component A, number 1, has been seen in project B, which is under GPL version 2. And this project may have only displayed one single license, saying the entire project is under GPL. Therefore, you think that the component underneath project B is also under GPL, which is true in a kind of way, because project B itself, the entirety of project, may be under GPL version 2. However, it does not mean that every component that was pulled and integrated into the project changes its license. It does not. It only means that when component 1 is part of project B, GPL version 2 has to be obeyed for the entirety of the project. But the original component, again, does not change its license. So what happens when you see different license information is you need to find out what is the original license. Has there been a case where actually the license has changed with the consent of the copyright holder? Or like in most of the cases, did this license just appear because it was integrated into different projects as a dependency? So it can happen that a license that's being shown is not the license that is applicable, because when you have a project under GPL version 2 containing components under different licenses, the executable binary file that comes out of it could be under one single licenses, even though components are under different licenses. If you look up, for example, Mozilla Firefox, you will find that the binary is under Mozilla Public License version 2 only one single licenses, whereas the source code components are under different licenses. And that's possible. It is possible that components are being integrated into one single licensed binary. They are derivative works, especially when these components do not have a copyleft effect and do not demand that the project license also be changed to the same compatible license. When you have this situation with different licenses, you have to make sure that they are compatible. GPL version 2 and BSD2 clause are compatible. If this were a BSD4 clause, you would run into a problem because BSD4 clause cannot be integrated into GPL version 2. But that's about compatibility, and we should make a video on that later on.